You are now listening to the Walk by Faith podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Stitt, aka The Pretty Plug. I'm on a mission to tell the lost story that combines faith in God and success here on this earth. The world often separates faith and entrepreneurship as if it was mutually exclusive. But I assure you it's not. I interview the following types of people: entrepreneurs, business women, and businessmen climbing the corporate ladder, founders of nonprofit organizations, college students following their passions, and also artists on the rise. They are movers and shakers in this generation, and I intend to plug you in week after week with content that inspires and educates you to be all that you are called to be. Thank you for tuning in, and now for this week's episode.
Scooch, strop top, whiz up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 on the Walk by Faith Show. As we bring October to an end, it's time for us to start creating financial goals and setting the tone for 2019. Today, I want you all to meet someone who has inspired me, not only from a brotherly way, but also as a fellow mentor who has stopped at nothing but to be the best man that he knows to be. So it would only be right if I tell you a little bit about him. So he's an engineer, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, a business owner, a consultant, a public speaker, and most importantly, a mentor. He attended the real HU Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia, but due to financial hardships and rising tuition, he wasn't able to finish. So he moved back to the H and decided to finish his degree at one of the best universities, and I know you guys, you should know it by now. It's none other than Prairie View A&M University. Through his determination, perseverance, and a little shift in mindset, he was able to walk across the stage with his degree in electrical engineering and score a full-time position with one of the best aerospace companies in the world. And he started his own company, by the way. So right now, he has worked for major companies such as NASA, the Department of Energy, and now the Boeing Company. Not only has he worked for industry leaders, but he's a leader of his own. He's the founder and CEO of a wealth management company, none other than the Tradehouse Investment Group. He has helped over 1,600 people add not one, but two additional streams of income to their portfolio. He's done over $1.5 million worth of sales in the last year. And his next goal is to be on Forbes 30 under 30 list by 2020. Sorry, you guys. I can't believe I got this man on the show, or I even know him. I just have to take a second to just go over that. You know, it's a lot for me. So none other than that, good or bad or indifferent, this young mogul is changing the dynamics of people's mindset behind the word broke. He has now been able to grow his international presence in less than a year's time through word of mouth and social media. Now, he'll get to the specifics of his strategy and business techniques, but I assure you that this is an episode and a guy you want to meet and connect with in real life. So please, you guys, please welcome our guest and the man of the hour, Mr. Branden Thompson, CEO of Tradehouse Investment Group, LLC. So, Branden, how are you doing today?
I'm doing better than phenomenal. How you doing, Jasmine?
I'm good. You know, this is a blessed Sunday, and especially because I got to read that biography. It just shows the growth. You know what I'm saying? We was just at Prairie View the other day, eating at the MSC. You know, and it's just like it's like look at what God can do in like a few years time, or just like the journey of college and coming out of it. So one thing I like to do with my guests is just an icebreaker, something that warms the audience up and gets them in the right headspace to understand exactly who you are and what you bring to the table. So, Branden, I need you to name 3 things that's keeping people away from financial freedom or that's keeping people broke.
Wow. So that's a great question. I would have to say three reasons that's keeping people from financial freedom or quote unquote broke would have to be their mindset, their environment, and they're not their parents.
Mm, wow. Do you want
That's
to
that's that's my top three.
do you want to travel into the parents piece? Because I wouldn't have guessed that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our parents are a direct reflection of what they've went through financially, mentally, emotionally. So anything you went through as a child was a direct reflection of what your parents probably went through at some point in their life. um, you hear your parents telling you, hey, that's not realistic, you need to do this. you know all parents aren't supportive of their kids' dreams.
Mm,
They're not all the way in on what you want to do. They more so are living vicariously through you, in the sense that if they wanted to be an engineer, then they're going to push you to be an engineer, because that's going to give them some type of satisfaction that they didn't achieve when they had the opportunity. So sometimes your parents, they kind of, they want you to do what they didn't do,
mm,
and anything that you really are passionate about is kind of like, maybe I don't know that world, so I can't support it, but I know what an engineer can do. I know what a doctor can do. I know what a lawyer can do. And so some of the things that might be outside of the box, like maybe somebody just wants to make beats, or somebody just wants to do art, somebody wants to have a talk show, walk by faith.
yeah, yeah.
Not saying all parents are like that, but a lot of parents are. They hinder their kids because they don't understand that the times have changed. It's different. We're in a renaissance times where you can be more than one thing. You don't have to work for a company for 20 plus years. You don't have to go to college. Even though we went to college and got prestigious degrees, you do not have to go to college to achieve optimal success. So I believe the parents can sometimes, taint your vision as far as what you can do. So
Mm.
that's kind of like my spiel on the whole parents thing.
Okay, yeah, we not even 6 minutes into the podcast and he already dropping gems. Okay, so everybody needs to go check what your parents have ever told you, and reconfirm it with yourself and say, does this align with who I am and what I can achieve? Because I probably can do more. Maybe my parents just have some limiting beliefs. So I just want to travel now to Brandon, getting to know who you are. Can you tell us your journey from Hampton to Prairie View? Just because a lot of people may have transferred schools, or they just want to know, like, dude, how you get to PV? Because that's what I want to know. How you get to Prairie View?
Oh, Jay, it's a beautiful thing. Like, looking back at it now, it's so beautiful, and the way it came together is unmatched with anything I've ever like had a full circle moment on. So I'll start off by saying, okay, I graduated from high school. I graduated from Elkins High School in Missouri City, Texas. Shout out to any Mo City natives. And I wanted to play basketball. Like, that was my whole thing. I had the hoop dreams. I know everybody can kind of relate with that, wanting to play sports and go to the next level with that. So that's what my mind was. I wasn't really thinking about, you know, going to school, getting a degree, and working in corporate America. That wasn't where my head was. So, some of the ways I was thinking about school was, okay, the basketball program, or, who would let me actually play, where could I get a scholarship? And I did get some good looks from, some Division II, some JUCOs, some schools I could have went to that really was a no name, and maybe my degree wouldn't have really hadn't meant anything if I would have finished there. So my mom kind of stopped me in my tracks, and she was like, look, you're not going to any of these junior colleges, these D2s, these no-name schools. And this is my mom's word, so I hope I'm not offending anybody. But she says, hey, you're going to go somewhere where your degree means something. You're smart. You have more than you have more going for you than just dribbling the basketball. And so at the time, I didn't really understand that, but I said, okay, whatever. It was so bad to the point my mom actually tricked me into applying for Hampton. Like I wrote an essay. She told me to write an essay. I didn't know why I was writing the essay, and I got into Hampton. She said, "Hey, you got into Hampton." I said, "What?" Like I didn't even know I applied. So okay, cool. I'm going to Hampton. Um, and so I went to Hampton, and basketball dreams was kind of put on the back burner. I tried to walk onto the team, but it just wasn't the same. It wasn't how I wanted to go about things. So I started to focus now more on school. Like, okay, what do I want to do? And I was trying to figure out like where I fit in as far as like, do I want to do business? Do I want to do marketing? What do I want to do? And I said, I know one thing, I want to make a lot of money. So I went and saw an advisor at Hampton, and they said, you know what? Are you good at math? Are you good at science? And I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty good at those. You should be an engineer. And I said, you know what? My uncle's an engineer. He makes really good money. I'm gonna do that. That's how I literally picked my do. It wasn't because I was passionate about engineering or anything like that. I wanted to. That's real. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to make money. If I was gonna go to this school and pay all this money, I want to come out with a high paying job.
Yes.
So that's what I did. So went to Hampton. I had worked with the Department of Energy internships. As far as NASA, I did a co-op with them, and then I got to. I was in a six-year program. It was a dual degree program where you come out with two bachelors. So I would have had computer and electrical. But going into my fifth year, coming back off of with NASA, they actually. Hampton actually didn't give me all the financial aid I needed to attend that school because I didn't go a full year. So I had to look at my finances and say, okay, I made money from this co-op, but I don't want to spend that on tuition. And then where am I gonna live? How am I gonna? I was gonna be back in a boat where I was broke,
Mm.
and I didn't want to do that. I had just came back from for having kind of a financial situation in school. It wasn't pretty, and I didn't want to go back that way. So I made a hard decision, and I said, you know what, it's time to go back to Texas. Let me start looking at some schools out there where I can, find, a curriculum or a school that has the electrical engineering curriculum that'll let me transfer the bulk of my credits. So it was out of U of H, TSU, and Prairie View. U of H, I heard I would have just been another number, so I said absolutely not. It was between TSU and Prairie View, and TSU didn't even have electrical engineering; they had electronic engineering. So Prairie View it was, and I went, and by the grace of God, I was able to get a full ride, so I didn't have to pay tuition. So that was even better. Um, and my life just kind of changed. It's like you were actually one of the first people I met as far as the group of people I was hanging around.
Hey.
You were one of the first people I met as far as engineering was concerned. Um, and it just really changed my whole perspective on school and what it's about and how to really navigate through it, um, and finish. It's definitely about finding the right people that are like motivated to finish. They're not focused on partying. They do have a good balance of having fun in college, but the primary goal is always I gotta get these grades and find me some opportunities to get to the next level once I get out of here. So shout out to y'all for welcoming me because I was just this random guy. Y'all was like, who is this guy? I just kind of slid in there, and yeah, but I shout out to Christina Magula, shout out to Christopher Lamb, all y'all really Johan, shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all really welcome me, and y'all help me get acclimated, into y'all curriculum, and shoot, we all finished strong. Everybody I just named graduated from Prairie View with electrical
Heck
engineering
yeah,
degree.
and
So
we all doing some real, real big things. And Brandon, you was an asset not only to us, but like to so many people at that school. And I mean, you really moved on. And as far as like you and getting full time jobs, and like, what was that transition like when you were at your peak, your senior year? You're like, you know what? I'm about to go to Boeing, but I'm about to move to California. Like, what was that transitionary period like?
it was it was really, really refreshing. it's almost like it took me back to a time when I was in high school and you're in your senior year, you at the top of the school, you know you about to graduate, you exempt from taking some finals, you just coasting. You going to college, you coasting. And that's how I felt. I was like, man, I had already had two internships with Bowen prior to graduating from PV. So just to take a step back, the first semester I enrolled at Prairie View, I got the Bowen internship. The first
First
semester.
semester.
So it's no excuses. I was hungry. I was looking for it. I was going to career fair. I was talking to all the advisors about the opportunities in the companies that were coming on campus. I was looking for an opportunity. If you're not looking for it, it's not going to find you, or you're not going to find it. So I had already positioned myself where after the first internship with Boeing, they were like, man, if you get on the 1 year, they're usually going to be looking to hire you full time. So at that point, I started networking and making relationships within Boeing and kind of setting myself up to get that full time offer. They offered me back the next year, and then I was originally supposed to work full time in St. Louis. That was where my last my two internships with them was in St. Louis, and I was kind of a little uneasy about starting my career in St. Louis. I mean, it was a cool city, but it wasn't somewhere that I wanted to start my career as far as like what I wanted to do and who I was. So I started talking to my manager, and he kind of asked me what I wanted to do, where I wanted to live. I told him, I said, I want to live in California. Whatever they have going out there, I'll find something. Boeing is a big company. I can find something there because I'm not just locked in on what exactly I want to do in this field yet, because electrical engineering is so
Mm.
broad. So he said, okay, cool. I'll see what I can do. Literally, he sent me a email of this rotational program. He sent me an email of this rotational program, and it was the day he sent me was the deadline. So that was the last day I could submit. And I looked at it in my email. I said, I don't want to do this. And then for some in me said, man, just do it. So I went ahead, filled it out. It was an easy application. Boom. The next day, I got another email. I received another email saying, hey, we like what we see on your application. Can you come in for an interview? So I was being interviewed in an internship for a rotational position once I came on full time after I graduated. So I went ahead, did the interview, and they said, you know what, we're gonna let you know if you get this position. And the cool thing about it was they asked me my preferences of where I wanted to start the rotation. It was St. Louis, Charleston, Seattle, and California. I picked California all day long, and I implicitly stated I want California. I want California. I want California. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to live here. Like, I want California. So I put it at my top, of course. Didn't know I was getting it. So I go back to school in the fall. I get an email in September saying I had been selected and I was starting in California. That's how I found out. So not even a month after school started, I got that email and they say, congratulations, Branden. You've been selected to be a part of class of 2018. Engineering Career Foundation program in Southern California.
Mm.
And the craziest part about that is that was the first chapter. That was Southern California's first chapter. So I started the first chapter with a few other of my classmates, and it was just a blessing from God. It was serendipity. Like, this was tailor made for me. So going into the rest of the year, I was like, everybody's like scrambling, looking for jobs, going to career fairs, driving all the way to Texas A&M. Shout out to y'all hustling. But for me, I was like, I already have my job. I already know what I already interviewed last summer. And if I didn't get that, I was just going to go to St. Louis. So it wasn't like I didn't have options. It was like, I can either do St. Louis or, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take this rotation in California. Of course, I went to California. But as far as how I was feeling, in the last year, man, it was a relaxed feeling. It was like, I'm coasting. All I got to do is go to class. I have mastered the art of passing classes. You sit in the front, you study with the people that are making good grades, and you
Thank
win.
you.
That's
That's the
it. It's
strategy.
it's it's that easy. You sit in the front of the class and you study with the people that are making good grades. If you can't do that, then you really don't want to graduate. If you're an engineer, you cannot party with the communication majors. They got a different type of grind. They got a different type of curriculum. They don't have comm theory. They don't have electronics. They don't have these network theory class. They don't have the same workload. So, not saying you can't be friends with them, but that can't be your core circle. So that's another thing. When I say environment, you can make money in college, but if you're hanging with the wrong people, you're not even going to be exposed to certain opportunities like getting an internship. Communication majors, I'm sorry, but they're probably not as focused on getting an internship as electrical engineer, computer engineer, because um, it's more vital for you to get that in order to succeed in that field, especially upon graduation. So um, that's the recipe. I was just feeling, like I said, I was just feeling really relaxed and like I was at the finish line because you got to think I did 4 years at Hampton and then 3 years at Prairie View. So it was like, oh, I just finally the finish line. Like it wasn't like oh, I made it time. It was like, man, I didn't work all this way. I could have been quit. I could have said, oh, I got to transfer. I already did 4 years, but I kept enduring because I believed in myself, and I believe like it's a reason I'm coming to Prairie View. It's whether it's relationships, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's to change somebody else's life. God put me here for a reason, so I'm gonna make the most of it, and I did.
And you sure did. And then when you went to Cali, that's when I got a
Oh,
phone call from you. You like, Jasmine, if you ain't talking money, I don't want to talk. I was like, what's going on? Who did you talk to? What did you find? What opportunities did you see? And I think that's when your next chapter started. And I'm gonna just let you open it up here.
absolutely. So it's a blessing to have been able to move to California. And that was always kind of like a like one of those throw it on the wall goals, and it's like, oh, okay, that's something I want to do. But who knows when it's gonna happen? Or I'm not really making a plan to make this happen, but it's something I want to do. So living in Cali was always a goal of mine. I said, I just want to live in Cali for a year just to say I did it. Um, and so thank God I was able to get paid to come out here and work out here and not only just get paid, but live a good life, because a lot of people come out here and, they 12 roommates,
Mm,
um, struggling, just they're not stable. They're just coming out here looking for an opportunity, and that's fine. But California is a very hard place to do that. Um, but for me, I realized that after a few months of working with Boeing and being in California, that I was getting the same check every 2 weeks. When you like, man, I want to make six figures, I want to do this, I want to do that. And when you get that money and you realize six figures isn't six figures,
mm.
you got to be making like 200,000 to be making six figures. So if you're making 110, you're not really making six figures. You're making like 70, 80, maybe. Because Uncle Sam is taking 32 to 40% of your
He
bread
sure
before
is.
you even see it. So when you say six figures, you're not making six figures. That's what that before taxes you are. But once you get that check, they've already taken out a lot of your income, and it ends up not adding up at the end of the year. And so when I realized that, I was like, wow, I was like, they're taking a lot of bread out. I mean, it's still good money, but my check is the same every 2 weeks down to the penny. And of course they have bonuses and stuff like that, but that's only once a year. And even the raises are, anywhere from 1,100 to $1,500 on your salary, which equates to maybe $50 extra a check. So it's not a big, increase in your money. So uh, for me, I was looking for another opportunity to make money that had nothing to do with my time. I said, I don't want to work another job. I don't want to, trade time for money. I need to have multiple.
Streams.
I need to
Yeah.
have multiple. How do I want to put this? I need to have equity, multiple equity in as many transactions that have nothing to do with my time.
Mm.
I need to have multiple equities and as many transactions that have nothing to do with my time. That's how you create wealth. So if I can find somebody that's looking to, maybe they want to start a delivery service, I don't know, delivering flowers, whatever. If I can invest in that and that's their dream and they're running, they already have the infrastructure. They just need maybe the capital or they just maybe need a resource and I can negotiate a percentage of their company. And because they're going to run it regardless and they're forever thankful that I'm even helping them, they have no problem with giving me 10, 15% of their company. And then, even if I'm getting a $400 check every 2 weeks, that's $800 extra a month that I can put towards what? Bills, stuff like that. That's not coming from my time, but it's income. Now, if you do that 10, 15, 20 times, you can make an extra $10, $15,000 a month just by using that type of strategy. But if you're looking for another job, another way to make income by using your time, you're gonna always be in a dilemma where you might have the money, but you don't have the time, or you don't have the time, or you have the time, but you don't have the money. You need to have the best of both worlds. You need to have time and money, and that's true freedom.
Huh. And is that where Forex came in at?
That's where Forex came in. Um, I I had already been looking for another stream of income. I was already doing things on the side, but I needed something consistent. And so my friend, he gave me a ring one day, shot me a call, and I hadn't spoken to him in a while. And what stuck out to me on that conversation is, Brandon, how are you currently multiplying your money? And I was speechless because I really didn't have an answer for him. I didn't. Everybody knows how to make money, save money, waste money. We all want to flip something, but multiplying is a totally different thing. Like, I didn't have a vehicle for that. So he introduced me to Forex, which is short for foreign exchange market. This is the largest financial market in the entire world. It generates $5.7 trillion a day in volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only 1% of the world actually trades or is even knowledgeable about this market. The other 99 either don't know about it or don't know how to participate. Now you got to think, why does only 1% of the world know about this, the largest financial market? Why hasn't this been taught in high school? Why hasn't this been taught in college? Why doesn't anybody ever give us information on this? And it's because it's so lucrative. If you can make an extra $100, extra $200 a day from your cell phone, how would that change your life? Right? I tell people all the time, I said, hey, if the government said, hey, you know what? Being an employee is now illegal. Would you be okay? Do you have a skill set where you can provide for not only yourself, but your loved ones that has nothing to do with you depending on another person outside of yourself? If the answer is no, then that's a problem. But that's the whole thing. They want to keep us dependent on them. So if I teach you a skill set, if I give you information on a skill set, on there's a market out there where you can make money from your phone and potentially make what you make at your job, if not more, who's gonna work at Target? Who's gonna work at Walgreens? Who's gonna be the employees?
Hmm.
Right? I'm not gonna give you that power. So when people say, if it's that easy, why don't everybody do it? Because if everybody did it, there wouldn't be a 1 percentile of the, that 1%. That's it. It's not because they have more money or that they're better than us. It's because they have more knowledge and they're not gonna divulge that information to people that they want to work for them.
Yeah. And I remember reading this that the 1% of this world controls 90% of the wealth in the universe. And I was
Absolutely.
just like shook. I was just like, wow. Like, those are the kind of people that don't even, their basic needs, they don't even have to worry about that because somebody else is making sure that they eat, sleep, they have their self-care Sundays. I mean, it's limitless. They can fly. If they think about what country I want to go to right now, they could just hop on their private jet. I don't even know how to conceptualize that. like what that even means on your day to day. Like, what does your life look like if you make that kind of money?
Right. And it's funny you say that, like conceptualize, and that's the thing, is like people, their belief system is so low because they're going based off of what they see day to day. What is the average day for Tom or Brad, or Ashley or Susan? Like what is a average day? And if it's go to work, wake up, go to work, ride the bus home, cook dinner for kids, and go to sleep. If that's your day to day, then getting on a private jet is not realistic.
Yeah.
You're not, because you're stuck in the system. You've been rocked to sleep because you don't see a way out. But the way you're going about your day to day life is not even, it's not opening yourself to other opportunities where you could, be like, hey, I could get on a private jet. I wasn't thinking of, I could be completely real with you. I wasn't thinking about a private jet, well, let's say 10 years ago. I wasn't thinking about that. You weren't in that mindset. You were in school, you were in, whether you're in high school or middle school, you were thinking in your environment. But it takes switching up what you do, switching up your routine to get a different result. Whether that's, you already doing well, are you doing bad? You always got to find a way to reinvent yourself and always get outside of your routine, because when you get stuck in a routine, that's when you stop evolving. And we never want to stop evolving as people, because if you're not evolving, you're dying. And we already naturally dying every day.
Yeah.
We get closer and closer to death, to sound dark, but if you're not trying to evolve in between that time, you're doing yourself a disservice. But for me, for Forex, it kind of, it not only sharpens my mind on financial literacy, but it opens my mind to the possibilities of what my life could be in the next 4 to 5 years. Because I've only been doing this for a year and a half, so it's a very short time frame when you look at the grand scheme of things. Like, I went to school, think about it, for 6 years. It took me 6 years to get my degree, right? 6 years to get my degree. But in that time, I wasn't really, I mean, I had internships, but I wasn't making any consistent money. So if you think about it, the way the system is set up, they want you to go to school for what? 12 years minimum. That's all the way to high school. If you go to college, that's another 16, 17 years. So for minimum 12, all the way to 16, 17 years, you've been conditioned to not make any money. You've been conditioned to sit in the room, learn some stuff that has nothing to do with you making money, learning from theorists and not people that actually are in the field doing these things that they're teaching. And then when you do get a job for that 60,000, 70,000, you're so comfortable because you've never gotten any money anyways. So of course $70,000 a year is going to make you, jump through the roof. But that's where the trap is. It's like, okay, cool, I made it. I'm making the money. And I went further than people in my family. I went further than my friends. So I tell people all the time that unless you can afford to not only take care of yourself, but take care of your parents, if they decide that they want to start working or something happened to them. Like, my mom does hair, so she doesn't have a formal health care or a retirement plan. So when I'm working, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about one day I'm going to have to take care of my mom. It is what it is. And so people get caught up in, you can take care of yourself, but can you take care of somebody else? Because you will have to eventually, whether you want to or not. Life happens, and you're going to have to be responsible, financially responsible for somebody else at some point in your life. And if that is not a goal for you, then you're selfish. If you don't want to help somebody financially, then you're selfish, especially people that help pave the way and get you to where you at now. So, just to touch back on Forex, because I go off on my tangents, but with Forex, it's easy. We're already a part of it. Even before I really start actively investing, you're already a part of it. 80% of the market is hedge funds, banks, and insurance companies. You already have insurance, whether that's car insurance or health insurance, and I know you have a bank account, right? So that's where the bulk of the movers and shakers are, is hedge funds, banks, and insurance companies. The other 20% is retail traders such as me. So you gotta think that, okay, I have my money in a bank account. All right. So now it's starting to make sense because the banks charge you to have your money in there. It doesn't make any sense. Cause I always was wondering, how does the bank make money?
Yeah.
How do they keep just by holding my money? That doesn't make sense. They making investments. Okay, that's cool, but like it's still fuzzy. When you go open up a bank account and you give all your personal information and you sign in those contracts, you are literally saying, hey, here is a free loan on my money and you can give me back 0.01 to 0.03% at the end of the year. But here, take all the money that's in my savings account and invest it where you want to. We don't read that part. We don't understand that. And so I got my money in this savings account and I gotta keep at least 2,000 in there. If I don't, they're gonna charge me. Because I've already made an agreement that I have to keep a certain amount so they can continue to do their investments. And the most you'll get is 0.03, 3%. So if we were to do the rule of 72, let's say you put $1,000 in your bank account, your savings account, the rule of 72, that means that this is by Albert Einstein. So this is for my nerds. If you take the number 72 and divide it by your interest rate, let's say you get 0.02 for an average. You get 0.02%. It's going to take 3,600 years for your money to double. For that 1,000 to turn into $2,000. Is that a good vehicle to keep your money in?
Absolutely
Nobody in your family is going to see that money. Absolutely nobody. So that's the thing, is like, not only are we giving away a free loan, but compensated correctly. Like, I can double my money every 3,600 years. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that cool? Why is everybody so comfortable with that? That's the scam, right?
Yeah.
Even at 7%, right? That's just not enough, right? So it's not a good vehicle for your money. I'm not saying don't have bank accounts. I think you should, but be cognizant of the fact that you can't put all your money in a savings account and not invest it and put it otherwhere. Look, money is a currency. Currency is power. It's energy. So it has to move. When you stop currency, it dies. You have to always keep it moving. It's meant to flow. You have to invest it. It's a seed. Money is a seed. They say money don't grow on trees. Yes, it does. Money produces trees. It's a seed. If I put $10 here, it needs to grow into something else, a tree of my return. So it is a tree. In theory, it is a tree. So that is broke talk. Money don't grow on trees. Yes, it does. Right? What is paper made out of?
A tree.
So what are we talking about? Money don't grow on trees. That was some growth? Why do people say that? Yes, it does. Money does grow on trees. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Theoretically and literally. So, it's just all these things we've been taught by people in our mentors, our family, that aren't financially literate. But Forex, like I said, it's easy because you can do it from your phone. It's just a selling of one currency for another. So I'll give you a quick example, and then I don't want to stay too long on it, but let's say, Jay, let's take a trip to Italy, right? We'll take a trip to Italy and we get there and we're gonna take $1,000 and spend in cash. Might not be enough, but we'll just use that for the example.
Okay.
We get to Italy and we can't use US dollars in Italy because their primary currency is the euro. So what we do is we do a currency exchange rate. So let's say, for simplistic reasons, that the current currency exchange rate from US dollars to euro is 2-to-1. So for every $2 we give them in US money, they're gonna give us back €1. So if we give them $1,000, they're gonna give us back €500.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We go about, we have a great trip. Let's say it's all expense paid. We don't even come out of our pockets for anything. We come back to the States, right? We get back, we get in our luggage. You reach in your pocket, I reach in mine. I say, we still got these €500. And we can't spend euro in this. We got to do another currency exchange. Now we go to the currency exchange center or the kiosk, and we're expecting our $1,000
Yeah.
back, right? But what if they gave us $2,000 back?
Hmm.
And it works both ways. They could give us less money back. They can give us $750 back. But what happens is all day long, all week, all month, all year long, currency exchange rates are constantly fluctuating. Constantly. The euro to the US dollar, what let's say we got 2,000. What would have happened was the the euro to the US dollar doubled in value. So now instead of them giving us $2 back for every 1 euro, they're going to give us $4 back,
Yeah.
right? Because the euro doubled in value. So now it's more US dollars for the euro we give back. Now you can participate in this all day long. You don't have to go out the country. You don't have to go to the airport. You don't even have to leave your home. If you have a cell phone with wireless internet or any type of connection, you can participate in this market straight from your cell phone, but you have to know that information. And that's what we do. We potentially just send out trades. We have a platform that's earn while you learn. So you send out trades, we send out trades to your phone. You literally just copy, paste, profit. You know, we get text message all day long, but are any of them helping us pay our
Mm.
bills? You in group me's all day long, you in telegrams all day long, Snapchat and Instagram. How many of those messages that you're sending or receiving have something to do with your financial freedom that day that you can apply that day and make some money?
Hmm.
If you're looking in the sky, it's time to make a change. So that's what we do. That's why I'm so passionate about Forex, and I believe anybody can
Okay.
do it.
And did you want to touch a little bit more on like some tangible steps to get started? Using your smartphone, like what are some things that I need to do right now? So I'm listening to this podcast. I need to download this app. I need to talk to this person. How do I now start earning while I learn, copy, paste, and profit? What do I do?
Okay, absolutely. So, we have a webinar every day, Monday through Friday. Well, I don't want to say every day, but Monday through Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And it's not even me anymore. I used to do them, but my organization has grown so much. So there's other leaders that have emerged and found a passion just like I have, and they're on there divulging the information just as good as I would articulate it. However, if you are a family or you're supporting my girl Jasmine, I want you to hit me up personally so I can get you the information. My Instagram is at trillionaire Tomp. So trillion, the word trillionaire, and then THOMP, one word at trillionaire Tomp. Send me a DM. I can get you some information. I'm very personable, and when it comes to customer service, when it comes to sales and all that, I I like to make some type of connection. I want to know what your goals are. What are you currently doing? Where are you currently at? Where do you want to be? How can what I'm doing help you get there? That's me. I don't want to just say, "Oh, here, sign up." That's not me. I want to know where you want to go, and let me tell you what we're doing to help you get there. So if you want to get some information, just reach out to me at Trillionaire Tomp on Instagram, and I can definitely tell you just the basic steps to just, kind of easing your way to get information. You don't got to sign up, but I do want to get you, some basic information so you can actually understand what it is we do. And if you like what you see, then we can move forward.
Okay, so you guys, I want y'all to DM him the word faith. That way he know I sent you. Okay, the Walk by Faith show sent you,
Right.
and he's gonna hook y'all up. Now, my next question is, why do we choose to be so comfortable in the Black community? I have a minority-based audience; it's still growing, but I want to know why are we so comfortable? Because even for myself, if I were to go somebody, I'm saying, yeah, I got a 9 to 5, I got a 5 to 9, and I'm hustling every day. But somebody be like, Jazz, you working too hard. I'm like, dang, like, what are you doing? Sitting, like, looking at my Netflix or my bills, and I got stuff I gotta pay for. But like, what are you doing? Why are we so comfortable? Because everybody else in this world, either their parents taught them how to live an uncomfortable lifestyle that they just passed down to them. But I feel like we're the
hmm
generation that has to become uncomfortable so our kids can be comfortable. I don't know why we're so comfortable. So I mean, Brandon, I'm sure you can touch on this.
that's one of the biggest things that I run into teaming up with people, and either if they're trying to be a leader in my organization or they just want to learn, it's them being getting out of their own way. We're in our own way. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have the time," or "I'm doing this, I'm doing that." But in reality, you do have the time. You're just not happy with your life.
Mm,
That's what it is. You're not happy because when you're happy, you find time for everything.
mm,
You find time when you're unhappy. Oh, I don't got time for that because you're not happy. You need to dig deep. Like, I feel like I have all the time in the world. I'll be doing too much. I'll be having to say, all right, Brandon, you can't fry fish, get on this call, iron your pants, and watch a Hulu special. Like, you can't do it all, Brandon. But I have to tell myself that, and it's a good and bad thing because I sometimes I do a lot at once, but I feel like it's because I feel like there is no time to waste.
mm,
Like the time you spend, taking a nap. You don't have to take no 2 hour nap. We need 6 hours of sleep max.
mm.
6 hours of sleep. So we get 24 hours in a day. You get 6 hours of sleep. And I got this from Gary Vee because that's one of my mentors as well, Gary Vee. So you guys definitely need to follow him. But 6 hours of sleep max, you get 18 hours to be productive. 18 hours. Let's say you're at your job. You're at your job 8 to 9 hours. So that's 15 hours right there. You still got another 9 to be productive.
Mm.
So what are you doing in that other time? You can't tell me you're doing anything that is setting yourself up financially for the future. My mentor told me, Brandon, IPA once a day, income producing activities. If you're not doing at least one of those a day to pay you right now or in the future, you are going to sell yourself short. Look, nobody cares about Hollywood Housewives. Nobody cares about Shark Tank. Nobody cares about NFL, NBA. All those things are cool, but those people have their money. They've already established themselves. That's why you're following them. But we need to get out of this mentality of following and we need to start leading,
Mm.
right? Because if we're always following something, then we're always living a lifestyle or trying to live a lifestyle that we haven't even made the resources to even keep up.
Mm.
You're trying to be like Kim K and you like her outfit, so you gonna go save her money to get her outfit, but you still ain't investing. Nobody cares about what Kim K is wearing. Nobody cares what Kanye is doing, but followers.
Mm.
A true leader is like, oh, okay, I see Kanye, whatever, but I need to get where Kanye at. How can I get Kanye money? Not just I want his shoes. How can I get where Kanye is? How can I get and not mentally, because Kanye on some other stuff right now, but financially, how can I get to that platform? How can I make my idols my rival? That's where a lot of people don't have that mentality. You think, oh, that's what just look, Kanye was doing beats in his basement for 3 summers straight. I've been following Kanye. These people, you gotta think. Kevin Hart is probably one of the biggest inspirations for me right now. Kevin Hart been grinding for a while, and now he just put out that new movie production. He just put out his first movie on there, and it's just to create a platform for up and coming comedians. And so that's what we need to do. We need to get in the mindset of how can I grind to put other people on. That's what I want to do. And so when you're talking about you don't have time or you're getting comfortable, you're only thinking about yourself again. There it goes. That's that selfish mentality that I'm good, right? But what about your mom? What about your best friend? If you are knowledgeable enough, if you have the intelligence to get up, get out, go make some change, go network with the right people, why wouldn't you? Why would you waste your talent? Why would you waste your time? And so for me, I think the biggest reason people are comfortable is because they're hanging around other comfortable people.
Woo.
Stop hanging around. Your best friend, I get it. Y'all down since day one. That's your whatever. That's your rider. Y'all, if y'all want to go to the club, they the first one to be ready. Girl, I gotta get my. Oh, bro, I gotta go. They ready to do that. Hey, bro, let's put up $100 for this real estate fund.
Sleep.
Oh man, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know, but you gonna buy that handle of Hennessy though in a minute. That's owned by the Arabs. So not only are you not investing in yourself, but you're gonna go put money in somebody else's community. I posted something the other day. It's Asians. They have their money circulated in their community for 28 days. Caucasians 19. And I believe for African Americans,
Seconds.
6 hours.
Whew. And we got the
So
most wealth.
we are responsible for over $1.2 trillion in sales last year. It might be even more than that. Don't quote me, but it's over $1.2 trillion in sales. So it's not that we don't have it, it's that we're not putting our money in the right places so that we can continue to grow as a community. It's called group economics. If I find 1,000 people and we all put up $100, we got $100,000. Now we can go to the bank and we can leverage that money to get more money. Now we can buy land. Now we can buy real estate. Now we can invest in other things and start eating as a group. But most people don't want to do that. $100. How many times do you waste $100?
A weekend.
Every week. That's a good weekend. That's an okay weekend. That's just a Thursday. That's a thirsty Thursday. I went to the bar with some friends because it's about to be Friday. And we can't do that in our own communities. And so that's why people are comfortable, because you're hanging around people that are comfortable as well. So get away from those couch friends, those love seat friends, those laid back, I need a massage friends. And you ain't even deserve that because you ain't worked hard enough, friends. I'm going to go on a vacation 3 times a year and I don't work, friends. And get you some friends that's working and need the vacation, but don't think they deserve it.
Exactly.
That's the type of friends you want. Like, you need a vacation. I know, but it's not time yet. I'm going to give myself a vacation when I need it. But right now, I don't see people going on vacation. Travel, enjoy yourself. But when you're going on vacations and you still living with your parents, I just don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't get it. How you still traveling, you living with your mama, bro? That don't make sense to me. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but hey, if that's you, that's you. But why are you so focused on traveling, but you're not investing? If you're doing both, kudos. But if you're more worried about what people think of you and what you're perceived as, instead of what you will be when time tells, you playing yourself.
Mm. And you know something, Brandon, you probably stepped on a lot of people's toes. My number one meme that I hate is, you should just go on that trip because you'll never get time back. I said that needs to be said with a disclosure statement, because how much money if you don't even have money, how you just gonna go get a credit card or go find a way to go travel just because you have some time now? I'm like, you gonna come back to the same broke situation. You just taking a leisure trip away from broke. I'm confused. Any trip I make needs to make me money. Anything I'm doing needs to make me money. So, but it confuses me, but that's a conversation for another day. We're not trying to offend nobody. Okay. We're not trying to offend nobody. We're just trying to give you different perspectives so that you can make wiser decisions, because with better information, we can make better decisions. But on my next question, Brandon, I remember on your Insta story one day, you said your grandma was making trades. Your grandma was on the app making money. Your grandma. Now, we in a generation now, you can do every single thing on your phone. My grandma's at a level where she could text me, she take pictures, but you got your grandma to making trades. And I just want to say, kudos to you for being able to show your family and your friends how to get generational wealth. But what was that moment like when you knew your grandmother was thinking about trading and had a phone and was making money moves?
Honestly, it gave me chills, because when you step into purpose, when you start doing things like when you feel good about things that have really nothing to do with kind of you, as far as your personal accomplishments, and it's more so because of you somebody accomplished something, that is like true wealth to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what true riches is that, like, because of me, I was able to instill something even in my grandmother, where her mindset is different based off of some information that I gave her, based off of some encouragement and a little motivation that I gave her. So, she was sending me text messages, and I can kind of give you a little spill on how it started. So when I originally got the information about Forex, I was learning. I wasn't even trying to put nobody on. I was just trying to really learn the information so that I could teach them. And I was in that rotational program at the time, so I had got an opportunity to do a rotation in Houston. So I actually moved to Houston summer 17. I moved there in July. And it was it was God's plan because that was the first time I was in Houston and I had like a real job and I was making good money. And now I have this skill where I'm making more money on the side. So I got my family involved. We started going to trainings. I started bringing my grandma along. She was coming with me to learn this information. And, once I left and went back to Cali, she was sending me text messages with pictures of her profits. And she was like, forever grateful, grandson, I'm always a student. And that right there was like, there's no excuse. And that is up to us. It's up to us to say, no, look, you can do this, grandma. You can do this, mom. We can do this together. Let's change our mindsets. Let's change what our last name means. Because believe it or not, the reason you here is because somebody before you fought and got through adversity. So if you don't fight and get through adversity, you will die off. Your family will die off. That's just facts. Only the strongest will survive. And I'm not meaning physically. I mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So if you're not fighting for your family to continue to exist, then you don't really understand then. You don't understand.
Yeah.
My grandma is 69 years old. So for me to get her to understand, grandma, you already watched the news. You're already playing games on your iPad. Let me show you how this can translate into you making an extra $300-400 a month. And she is very efficient. She is very conservative on her trades. But I went down there the last time I checked. I went down there this past February, and I looked because I posted on Instagram. I just looked for the month of January. She only lost 3 trades. Her profit was like $205 for the month. That's for a grandma using 1 penny on all her trades, and she made $200. And it's like, oh man.
So really, y'all, if you are a young person right now listening to this podcast and you are letting someone's grandma outdo you in this perspective where she has taken any thoughts of, hey, like, I don't trust this, I don't trust phone. You know how grandmas think, I don't trust technology, why am I doing this? If you're letting somebody that has said, you know what, don't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, I'm still going to reinvent myself. I'm going to open my mind and expand my horizons and educate myself on the profits around me. So if you know how to use your phone, you know how to post a picture on Instagram, you know how to do whatever else that don't make you not one single penny a day, and there's somebody else that is just learning technology for the first time, I think you should just rethink some things, right? That's all we're asking, is that you rethink some things. So my last question, I got about 2 more. Can you give us some examples of the many streams of income that you are currently making right now? Because I understand, like, you got your Boeing, you have Tradehouse. Like, what other forms of income are you also creating? Because again, you're the leader, Branden, and a lot of people are going to listen to this and they're going to say, you know what, like, what else is this man doing on top of everything that he is doing? What else can I be thinking about long term?
Okay, so of course, Bowen. I really don't count Bowen because I mean some people count their jobs. You got to because that's your bread and butter. But I try not to count Bowen as one because the goal is to be full-time entrepreneur and walk off. So if you keep counting that one, then you're kind of gonna be you want to not count that one. So but we can count Bowen just for this reason. So Bowen, I have my investment group, so I make residuals every week off of that. So that's 2. Trading, I make money daily on that. I'm in some trades right now on this podcast, so I'm currently making money on Ripple to the US dollar. So it's so many different pairs, but Forex, that's one. So we got Boeing, we got residuals, we got the market money. We also have uh I've just recently partnered with a few online businesses that actually allow me to help them find processing power. So for every person that I put on that helps them, they give me kickback. So I've been making some really good money doing that. So that's another stream. Uh, I would have to say cryptocurrency. I've currently um, invested my money into a few coins that are I'm already up on interest on those coins. What else I got? Oh man, I just so this is big news. So it's something it's a platform coming out called Star Crowd. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a guy by the name of Pooh Bear, but look him up. He wrote Despacito. I don't know if you're familiar with that song, but he wrote a song for Justin Bieber, 112, Usher, Chris Brown. Really big songwriter and producer in the industry. And he's actually the face of it, but my mentor is actually the actual founder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my mentor actually gave me an opportunity to be an A&R for Star Crowd. It hasn't even launched, but they're actually making me one of the A&Rs so I can go out and recruit talent for this platform. So be looking for that. It's going to be a show, but it's also a platform for independent artists. And it's like Shark Tank meets meets American Idol meets GoFundMe.
I like that.
Yes.
And what's A&R stand for again?
Artists, artists and repertoire.
Okay. All right.
Artists and repertoire. So um, it's really a great opportunity for me. I haven't made any money on it per se, but I will be getting some kickback on any of the artists that blow, and that's me locked in for a lifetime contract with that. So I got my hands in a lot of different things right now, but I would say about 4 or 5 different streams of income. My goal is 17 within the next 5 years. So uh, that's the goal, 17 streams of income. So if you thinking you got one and you fine, or you got two and you good, come on. We got to do better than that. Because my thing is, let's say I got 17 streams of income and 10 of them don't go through 1 month. I still got 7 streams of income.
Mm. Okay. And one, you guys, I know I have been inspired by Branden, but my number one question that I like to ask, because I don't believe that we can have all this success and we can make all this money if we don't have faith from somewhere, in specifically speaking from God. Branden, why do you walk by faith? What does walking by faith mean to you?
Walking by faith means that in the midst of adversity, in the midst of shortcomings, in the midst of your parents, where you were born, where you're from, any of that, it doesn't matter because you believe based on a gut feeling, a God feeling, right? Our internal guidance system that what you want out of life is valid and you're going to get it by any means necessary. And so, by that, if you continue to march forward, if you continue to walk every day towards where you want to be headed, you will get there as long as you never let anybody tell you otherwise.
Mm. Yeah.
That's walking by faith. You can't see it. People will tell you you can't do it. That's not realistic. You from third ward. You from the ghetto. Your grandma ain't graduate college. Your mama ain't graduate college. You only got a 2.5 in college. You keep going anyways because deep down inside, what you feel is that you deserve more, and what you want is bigger than what you've been through and where you're from.
Mm. And I just got a small scripture to piggy off of this. And what this podcast essentially meant to me comes from Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. Honestly, guys, this podcast to me shows that you need to renew your mind. Whatever disbeliefs or whatever self-defeating thoughts that you had, maybe from your parents, maybe from your environment, maybe just from what you have seen, you need to transform your mind. You need to be able to tell yourself, I can have higher. I can have multiple streams of income. I don't have to depend just on my job to give me something. I do have a dream. I can move. I can go from one college to another college. I can get an internship within the first semester of being on at somewhere new. You got to be able to tell yourself and have affirmations to yourself and say, I am all that God has called me to be. But if you continuously let yourself think, oh, well, I'll never be nothing, that's exactly what you will be. And Branden, my friend, you blessed us today. You shared your story and your specialty of creating wealth. And I know 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, people probably going to be laughing like, man, Branden, he wasn't talking about nothing. And then you just going to be the one laughing. That's normally how it works.
Hey, I don't, that's what walking by faith is. We're gonna see what's happening. We're gonna see what I'd rather walk by faith than drive by sight.
Exactly. So again, Branden, tell us where we can find you on social media so everybody can follow you, and remember, guys, DM him Faith if you want to connect with him to get involved in his many wealth generation specialties.
All right, so you can DM me at Trillionaire Tomp. So that's Trillionaire. It's all spelled correctly. Trillionaire Tomp. Tomp is like the first four letters of my last name. THOM. Well, I lied. I kind of first five. THOMP. Trillionaire Tomp. And I also have a Tradehouse Cali page, because we're actually out of a few different states. But if you want to hit me up on that page or even follow us at Tradehouse Cali, it's all one word, at Tradehouse Cali. And just like she said, DM me the word Faith so I know it's you, and I will get you the necessary information you need to make a decision if you want to move forward with this.
Okay. And you guys, he does have a website, www.Tradehouse Investing Group, TradehouseInvestmentGroup.com. So please check him out. Make sure you follow up with him. Do your due diligence, right? Like, this money ain't gonna make itself. You have to be the driving force behind it. But as always, I got to thank the Walk by Faith family for tuning in to the 5th episode on season 2. If you want more content, hey, I'm developing my own stream of income. You can support this podcast with 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $10 a month. And that gives me the ability to bring you new content every week with somebody new and to continue to expand the platform of Walking by Faith. So with nothing else, thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.